What is going on, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Main Event Review. Thank you very much for tuning in once again. We are a week away from Saturday night's main event. And before we get to that, there has been some cryptic videos released by WWE, photos of sort of people's shoes walking. There have been lots of rumors to suggest what they could be. One being it could be the last three of John Cena's opponents. Apparently, one being Gunther, the second being Chris Jericho, and the third being jeans and cowboy boots, potentially being Edge. Which, as a tease, that would be quite impressive. But could also be the Vision as well, teasing Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, and Brock Lesnar being the third one. Those are the two main rumors going about. But yeah, interested to see who they are. Honestly, got no idea. It could be one or the other I'm leaning towards. Or else it could be some whole different faction. And once again, Triple H finds a way to just bait us all with hyping something up that's probably not up to the hype. But again, we'll see. But yeah, just something to sort of pick on. The latest one literally just released 2 hours before I've recorded this one. So yeah, again, let's see what it's going to be. They've obviously made it very cryptic and it's been open to interpretation. But yeah, moving on, main event starts, or Saturday night's main event starts next week. We're reviewing the two main event matches today and a few segments on Raw and SmackDown. And then I'll sort of give a prediction show to what I already know as well. But before all that, again, just want to mention Jade Cargill's heel turn. Finally, they decided to do it. Very glad that they've decided to turn Jade Cargill heel. I think it's going to be really good for the company. I think it suits her persona more, suits her personality. And yeah, maybe her in-ring ability isn't up to the standard that it should be or that they want it to be. But I think going through this heel character might improve at least that side of what she needs work with, because clearly as a baby's face, she hasn't been able to connect with fans. But they're going to have a match at Saturday night's main event, so we'll save that for the rest of it for the prediction show. But we will start with the main event match with Montez Ford taking on Kid Wilson of Pretty Deadly, which is just one half of Pretty Deadly. And you've seen him on SmackDown actually just talking about toxic masculinity and sort of going with that like sort of new gimmick there, having a go at people backstage. Hasn't really resulted into anything yet, but I'm glad that they're trying to do something with him, given that Elton Prince is going to be away for a while, and that's another person added to the long injury list. So yeah, there isn't really much of the storyline that gets put forward here. We have Montez Ford performing as a single star, which is something that I think everyone sort of wants to see going forward. The Street Profits do come out with their new old theme music, which was something that I picked up there. So that sort of run that they had with new music and their characters was short-lived. But again, they had the match between each other and Montez Ford gets the victory here, which is probably the correct decision. I don't know what the go is with these two. It clearly looks like the Wyatt Six have moved off them. And I would love just to see these two split up and go as single stars. I think Montez Ford is ready to take the singles run and become a single star. Not sure where there's going to be room for him for that, but there's definitely an opportunity for him to do that, given his in-ring ability and his athleticism as well, which was on display for this match too. And yeah, Kid Wilson's character and his gimmick is probably something that's just going to stay backstage on SmackDown, but something that will be a little bit captivating, you would think, considering that he's not really doing much, as we mentioned. But that pretty much wraps up that first match. We then had the Vision come out. Firstly, Adam Pearce coming in basically was there to announce that Seth Rollins had his injury. But the Vision came out and Adam Pearce wasn't very happy with them, of course. But it wasn't their fault. He did mention that he sustained the injury during the match with Cody Rhodes, so don't really think the Vision were contributed to the injury, but it was obviously a way to get them off air. Adam Pearce blames them, basically asks for the title back, which Bron Breakker is holding. Bron Breakker tells him to say please, and pretty much he gives the title back after that. Then Paul Heyman talks and mentions that they are the heel and the bad guy. They don't understand all this. But essentially, the Vision was never about Seth Rollins, what he mentioned. It was always about Bron Breakker being the best and a future, obviously, main eventer, and Bronson Reed being better than Roman Reigns ever was, which I guess that's the message to show that the Vision is still going to keep going. The Vision was meant to create new stars to build these two, so they're still going in that direction, and having Paul Heyman is going to help that out, and he's obviously pushing these guys and continues to do so. So that's great. But again, I still think it's premature that Seth Rollins is not part of this, because I don't know what's going to happen when he comes back. Still hasn't finished his program with CM Punk, and he still is obviously going to come back and have and get these guys back for what he did. So yeah, that one's still into play, but I guess we'll be seeing Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed be pushed more than ever. We did, however, have Adam Pearce update the board with no Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker in the Battle Royale, which I was a little disappointed to see, but then probably would have ruined what happened. They're really setting these two up for the future. We also had that backstage promo with Paul Heyman telling both Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker when CM Punk listened to him, he was able to hold the title for 400 plus days, and Roman Reigns holding it for over 1,000 days as well, and that he didn't have many WrestleMania main events as the big dog. So Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed definitely taking the advice of Paul Heyman, and this continues to show the impact that Paul Heyman has had on previous superstars. So excited to see what these two can do, really. They're doing such a good job this year, but just really for like the future, like what Bron Breakker is going to be in 4 or 5 years, and what Bronson Reed is also going to be at that same time will be awesome. So yeah, they continue to build those up, and that pretty much wraps up that segment. We then had the Women's Intercontinental Championship match between Maxine Dupree and Becky Lynch in Maxine Dupree's hometown. She's improved so much in the ring. I got to say, she's looking so much better and more confident as the weeks go by, which is great to see. 2 Intercontinental, or 3 matches with Becky Lynch, 2 for the Intercontinental Championship. This match ends in a DQ, Becky Lynch hitting Maxine Dupree with the title, and it honestly looked like Maxine was so close to winning, and when that happens, that's always positive signs. I don't think the payoff is going to be these two and Maxine taking the title of Becky Lynch. We all know that I think AJ Lee is going to push for this title. So whether they have another match or not to really like close this, that begs a question. But I think if it does happen, I don't see Maxine Dupree winning as of yet. But a great display, and I think this was to show that Maxine Dupree has been improving and she deserves her flowers. And Becky Lynch continues to do an amazing job as a heel. I think she's killing it in that role. So yeah, that'll be great when she takes on AJ Lee. And yeah, for sure, Becky Lynch has definitely elevated this title and has made the Women's Intercontinental Championship very significant at the moment. You could argue it's probably the best women's championship at the moment when it comes to sort of the storylines that have been associated with it, and obviously Becky Lynch being the champion as well. We obviously know that Stephanie Vaquer is quite new, and now with the Women's Championship, Jade Cargill being a heel might make it more interesting. And we all know the problems with Julia being the Women's United States Champion, and she's not getting any matches, which is quite frustrating. We then have... we went through the backstage stuff. We then have the second main event match, and that is Lyra Valkyria taking on Ivy Nile, who... Every time I see Ivy Nile without the braids, it just cooks me out, because she looks completely different. She doesn't get the victory here, which was to a surprise of no one. Lyra gets the victory here in a pretty decent match. She went for quite a while. This is somewhere where I can see Ivy Nile potentially just getting away from American Made and potentially just going on SmackDown and reinventing herself a bit, because yeah, I think SmackDown is in much need of someone to compete with Julia. And I'm not saying that Ivy Nile would be the person, but she could be in that conversation. She gets the loss, so that doesn't help her momentum. Lyra gets the win here, and I think this match, to be honest, is very filler. It doesn't really align with any of the storylines at the moment. Lyra Valkyria's got her stuff going on with Bayley. That storyline's so weird. I don't know what they're getting at with that. Is Bayley gonna turn on Lyra and just go crazy on her? They're gonna have a match. Yeah, who knows? Because at the moment, it's been all about Bayley and her sort of personality split, but there hasn't really been much since the last time when Bayley attacked her. So maybe that will change on Raw tomorrow. I'm sure they'll probably have a program then, but we'll have to wait and see there. And then we wrap up with the Battle Royale to determine the number one contender or the person that will fight CM Punk for the vacated title. And to everyone's demise, Jey Uso gets the victory here. And not without any drama. We had Jimmy Uso pretty much saving Jey Uso from the match the whole time. And countless times where Jey Uso could have got eliminated, it didn't happen. Then we had a buckle up between LA Knight and Jimmy Uso, and that gave Jey Uso the perfect opportunity to eliminate both contenders, which really frustrated Jimmy Uso a lot. Felt like he got betrayed and his brother turned on him, continuing that sort of thing for Jey, that he has to focus on himself, and heavily influenced by Roman Reigns in that matter. We had Dominic Mysterio, who cheated his way into it. It was funny that the refs didn't see him and he got back into the ring. It would have been so funny if he got into this match. And I can make an argument that everyone would have much preferred Dom and CM Punk to face at Saturday Night's main event. Even though we know that Dom would not have won the title, it just would have been more interesting than Jey Uso and CM Punk. I think Jey Uso got pinned last week in that number one contendership match. I don't understand why they're going with him. LA Knight has done such a good job in being in the main event sort of realm. Once he's moved to Raw, and Raw suits him very much, as I've mentioned before, I would have preferred to see CM Punk and LA Knight go at it. I think that would have made the most sense. Here, it's very obvious that, and we'll get to the predictions straight after this because we are talking about it, that CM Punk will probably win the title and Jimmy Uso will potentially betray Jey. Poor Jimmy, man. I feel like he's just not getting enough from anyone, getting betrayed by his family all the time, and he's really good on the mic, Jimmy. I think he's doing a really good job. I don't know whether he's on Raw and SmackDown at the moment, but it looks like they're going to be bringing back the Bloodline feud, which is probably going to be another variation of it. So I guess it gets views and it makes everything more interesting and it's more captivating. I don't know. But I just don't think Jey Uso should have won this. I think it was a poor booking choice. We've seen it. We've gone down this road. And I don't think Jey Uso, as much as I do love him as a Yeet Man and someone that has captivated the crowd, is ready to take on a title yet. So it's a shame. Will he turn heel? I also don't know. That's probably something that WWE is really fighting with because they really have this Yeet movement on lock and kids love him. So it's hard for them to make that move, but they are teasing it for sure. But yeah, I think we'll go straight into the preview. I think for this first match, which is Jey Uso and CM Punk for the title, I do think CM Punk will be the World Heavyweight Champion. And it's not probably the way he would want it, ideally. He would have probably preferred to have it by beating Seth Rollins, but you take it at this point, and I don't think there is anyone else that can take the title off him. It might lead straight away to a Gunther CM Punk rematch. Gunther's due to come, whether that is from that the shoes video, whatever the cryptic video that they have, or whether he just comes and just takes CM Punk. We don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, CM Punk will get the victory, and I think Jimmy Uso will have a lot to say in the match, potentially costing Jey here, is what I think. And then we have the match between Tiffany Stratton and a heel, Jade Cargill. Like I said, I'm very happy that they've turned Jade Cargill heel. And I think they're going to give her the victory here as a hot take. The reason why I think that is because Tiffany has just come off a loss against Stephanie Vaquer, which means that they don't have to push Tiffany Stratton to hold this undefeated streak. And I also think that I have this thing where if someone turns heel, it'd be stupid to make them lose their first match. So for me, that's why I think Jade will win the match. It is a bit of a hot take, but I think that's going to happen. I think finally they're going to give Jade the title, and she's going to have this crazy heel run as well. We have faces on Raw. We have faces on SmackDown for the main belts. So I think it's due to have a heel win this. So yeah, that's what I think. I think that's what's going to happen for this one. And yeah, we move on to the next match, and that is going to be Drew McIntyre taking on Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. I think that Cody Rhodes keeps the title because I think the payoff is going to be Randy Orton taking on Cody Rhodes. I think that's going to be the match that everyone's excited for and what everyone will see. So yeah, that's my opinion on that one. I think, yeah, there's nothing else to really say. I think Drew McIntyre's done a really good job, and I really enjoy him being a part of this program with Cody Rhodes and exposing Cody Rhodes and doing stuff with Cody Rhodes. But I think that, yeah, Randy Orton is going to be the match between them. And we've got this who hit Jacob Fatu question lurking around, and I really think it is Cody Rhodes that did it. And I think that's where the heel turn will start, because I don't think it was Drew McIntyre. Obviously, I don't think it was the MFTs. I think we've gone down that path. I think it would have been Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes was the one to attack Fatu, especially the way he acted when he hit Drew McIntyre with the belt. And he did a really good job in that promo to sort of get the heat off him that he was turning heel, basically saying that no one cares if he did it because it is Drew McIntyre, which is hilarious, but also sort of true, because you could see the fans didn't really care about it. But again, obviously that was a heel move, and we looked at what happened with Fatu. We have to make a sort of assumption that Cody Rhodes is potentially turning heel, but I think they're going to hold it for now and continue to tease us with that. But yeah, that pretty much, I guess, wraps up the main event review, followed by the Saturday night main event preview. We'll be back next week to sort of review both at the same time. So that'll be fun. It will be a main event and Saturday night main event review. But until next time, I will catch you then. And yeah, take care. Thanks for tuning in once again. And yeah, hopefully Saturday night main event has some more matches that are, yeah, pretty good. Because at the moment we've only got those three. And I'm sure they'll probably make one or two more from these week's episodes of SmackDown and Raw. And maybe they'll review the shoes, who the shoes are. I don't know how else to say it. Who are the three people in that cryptic video? Next week, hopefully they tell us. And then we can talk about that as well. But yeah, again, it's been your boy Daniel. You've listened to the main event review, and I'll catch you guys next week. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.